Hey everyone, how's it going today? And welcome back to another second stimulus check and second stimulus package unemployment benefits extension update. So it is very crazy to think, it is very crazy, but basically some of you guys may have already heard and some of you guys are about to hear right now, but basically after the incredibly long battle for many people, the long struggle, some maybe a little bit, some maybe a lot, but hopefully we've already officially survived this long. But after basically the incredibly long battle, back and forth debate, negotiations, some struggle left and right, and all the politics that has been happening, the incredibly great news to finally officially be able to share with you guys as of this video is that basically as of last night, after going through the House, and then let's just say after going through the Senate, and then right about to be going to the White House today, who has officially agreed that basically as of last night, the second stimulus check and the second stimulus package has officially been approved. And it is very crazy to think. Now, I know obviously some people have heard about the package, some people think that there's maybe more to be desired, and some people maybe are very happy about it. But I think regardless, after an incredibly long wait of basically being almost empty-handed by the government and everything that's been going on, at least we can now feel at least some level of, I guess, hopefully a little bit more better and brighter days to come maybe. Now the other big thing that we have also received as of yesterday, something around like the very late afternoon, is that we've also received the actual official text of the second stimulus check and the second stimulus package. And let's just say that it is long. And I mean like ridiculously incredibly long. I don't know how the congressman literally read this over the last couple of days. Maybe they didn't even read it. Maybe they finally just saw it and said, all right, we'll just sign it on the spot. But basically that text is about 5,593 pages. So it is pretty insane. Now I want to talk a lot more about this package, maybe in like a future episode, because I want to really dive deep into it, because today I really just wanted to kind of share with you guys this brand new news. Maybe I'll come on and make a video later tonight. If not, maybe tomorrow then, if anything, talking and really breaking down the different parts of the bill, so if you guys are interested in really hearing that. I did also already make one video, however, on the unemployment. The unemployment is basically almost exactly the same what we talked about in yesterday's episode, which definitely check that out if you guys haven't done so already. I made a video talking about the unemployment program. It is the same exact unemployment. We did learn a little bit of a couple new things about it, so I do want to share that maybe, so definitely stay tuned for that. But more or less, if you guys are interested in learning about the PUA, PUC unemployment, definitely check out yesterday's video. I believe it's literally just called PUA, PUC, and then details released or something like that. So definitely check that if you guys are interested. But what I really want to focus in today's video about is really just being able to kind of share with you guys this really great news. I also kind of want to maybe give a couple of brief details that recently came out. We'll dive a lot deeper in the next episode about the stimulus, and maybe I also want to just kind of maybe tell you guys a little bit of a recap or a little bit more of what really ended up happening, because I do know some of you guys we're kind of wondering about well, whatever really ended up happening with that 1.8 trillion that kind of happened before the elections, and then the 2.2. I think some of you guys were kind of wondering what was going on there. So I kind of just want to maybe tell a little bit like a recap story about what really ended up happening in today's episode. If you guys want more details about the actual stimulus, then definitely check out yesterday's video and hopefully the next video that's going to come after this. So with that being said, we're going to get started right away, but remember to smash the like button if you can, especially in light of this great news. Consider subscribing and hitting the bell notification button for future updates, especially now that we officially have the details about it. So hopefully we can kind of get more updates about it, and feel free commenting about any questions or really just any thoughts or personal things at any time, especially maybe by the end of this video about what you guys think about the stimulus package, whether you guys are happy about it, whether you guys wish for more, or honestly just really anything at all. Alright, so with that being said, let's get this video started. So the great news now is that basically, yes, the second stimulus check and the second stimulus package and the unemployment benefits boost extension has been approved in the House. It went on and it was approved in the Senate, and it's about to go into the Donald Trump's White House right now to get approved. And he already officially basically agreed that he's going to officially sign it. So that is the really great news. Now, in terms of what is really in this second stimulus check and second stimulus package, I'll probably dive much more deeper because there's a lot of different parts, especially if you have a bill that's 5,593 pages long. In terms of what's going to be in it, it's going to basically be $600 stimulus checks to both adults and also to children. I do believe, though, sadly, they did leave out this time college students and other adult dependents. So it's basically going to be exactly like the requirements from the first stimulus check. So if you got the first stimulus check, you will be getting it this one. If you didn't, then sadly it's going to be the same exact story. The unemployment situation is still very much going to be $300. I covered it in yesterday's video in much more detail, so it's the same exact story. So definitely check that if you guys haven't done so already. The one detail that we did actually recently receive somewhat, and I wanna actually read the text to confirm, so don't fully like quote me on it yet, but I briefly scanned the text, and I believe that based on what I was reading at this time, is that the other great news is that there is no requirement to get onto the unemployment, in the sense that you don't have to be making $100 or more, like with the LWA unemployment FEMA program that we kind of had last time. So I do believe as that they are opening up the $300 to every single person that's on unemployment, PUA, PUC, or traditional. So that is the really great news. I'm going to confirm for sure, but based on what I was reading on the text, I don't think I believe I saw anything about it really, like just glancing it. So that's what I really believe is going on at this current time. Now I really just want to touch up a little bit about what really ended up happening, because I know some of you guys were kind of wondering about like, how did we go from like a $1.8 trillion slash $2.2 trillion slash $1.89 trillion actually package, if you guys remember, from slightly before the elections to all of a sudden like a package that was under $1 trillion, and what really ended up happening there, because it is, I think, something a little bit more interesting to kind of recap and really reflect and think about how we went from there to there. But basically what really ended up happening, the story is, I think it was because at that current time period they were really trying to squeeze in to try to manage to do some kind of like $2 trillion package. I think in the end what happened was that Pelosi was trying to gamble that if she tried to hold firm to her package, she would be able to basically get the entire $2.2 trillion package. And there was also, which is thankfully actually still on the table, but it's just kind of like put on the side that maybe will come back in 2021. Vote if you guys are in Georgia from the Senate elections. We've kind of talked about like the story and situation with that, but I think the general idea is that she was trying to gamble that maybe if she held firm to it, she could potentially squeeze in to get her 2.2. I think the other thought is also that because there were also the elections that was coming up, there was a lot of say, and I think she hinted it also on the news, that she was very, very afraid that if she decided to like go through with it, it was going to potentially let Donald Trump look good, and then it was going to be able to help him win the elections. Now, there was a say that in some ways maybe it actually worked, and maybe there was a chance, maybe Biden would have actually won regardless anyway, but the idea is in the end, it worked in some ways, whether it was because of that or for another reason. In the end, Biden did win the elections. Sadly, though, it came at the cost of the stimulus checks, and why we currently have a situation where there's 40 million people that are on the verge of eviction, 12 million people that were about to lose unemployment, but thankfully will now hopefully be able to sustain, hopefully, at least certainly better, now that the package has been approved for the next about 11 weeks that we talked about in the last episode. Check that out if you guys haven't done so already. If you guys remember that package that Pelosi turned down to try to gamble she could get her package, that package she turned down would have had $1,200 stimulus checks, $1,000 stimulus checks to children, so $1,200 to adults, $1,000 to children, and then $400 unemployment. And I believe that this was released back around in October, so this actually would have also had retroactive, semi-retroactive, but the idea is we would have been able to start our unemployment even back in October, and from basically all of the weeks in October, November, December, I think it's about, let's say, 12 weeks, 12 times, let's say, 400, because that was the amount of the boost, we basically could have probably been about $4,000 to $5,000 richer if they had taken that original package. And then I think what really ended up happening is that after the elections, I think there was a lot of distractions because of like the court cases. Before, there was also the Amy Coney Barrett, when Mitch McConnell kind of stepped out of it totally. Like, I think he actually specifically, as we've known, is probably one of the more straightforward ones. Whether this is good or not so good news, he was more likely to kind of be direct with it. He was the one that specifically stated how he was going to overlook it and basically just focus on the Supreme Court justice. That's kind kind of why at that time the debate was really between Mnuchin and Pelosi. And then suddenly after the elections, I think McConnell took over Mnuchin, and then it became much more between McConnell and Pelosi. What really ended up happening, I think, is that after the elections, they felt that the numbers were getting a little bit better. So in the end, the Republicans actually took away their White House offer, the 1.8 and the 1.9, and they felt that maybe because, wow, you know, the unemployment rate is going down, which it was technically, but it was very misleading because the only reason it went back down was because they were reopening the economy, so people were going back to work, not because they were actually creating necessarily more jobs. Then what really ended up happening is that they ended up dropping it down, and that was when we were introduced to basically the skinny bill that Mitch McConnell was trying to promote. And then I think finally, because so many people were trying to press Pelosi on it, she finally all of a sudden came down and said, all right, we give. And then she basically went from her 2.2 all the way dropping down to under $1 billion. And that's really how we got to the package that we currently have today. So that's what I really wanted to kind of explain, to give you guys a little bit of a story about how we really went from what we did to where we are today, because I think some people were kind of wondering. Maybe feel free to comment your personal thoughts, especially because there were even some debates about people asking who really won in the negotiations in the end. Some people say it was the Republicans because the Republicans got their skinny bill at the end of the day, sadly. So we never got the Heroes Act, although we maybe will next year. And then some say the Democrats won because the Democrats won the presidential elections. But I think one thing for sure is everyone, I think a lot of people do feel that universally, almost every single one of us lost in the end, at least, or certainly not lost, but we just gained less than what we really could have gained if we had finally just agreed and compromised on something 2 to 3 months ago. But so the great news is that we've officially have our stimulus package officially approved finally after the long debate. So at least we can go into Christmas knowing that something will be in our hands. Maybe we can finally get some Christmas gifts. I know the package probably won't come actually until after Christmas, but nonetheless, maybe we can at least buy a post-Christmas gift at least, or certainly at least to pay for bills. And then I know some people hopefully maybe wanted more, and it's possible that, actually very possible, that we're going to potentially get more in 2021. So that's what I really wanted to share in today's update. Maybe feel free as always to comment any questions, thoughts about really anything at all, what you guys think about this package, the situation, who really won in the end, or maybe just the fact that in a way, or certainly just didn't gain as much as we could have gained if we had stood at the very beginning. Would love to hear it. Remember to smash the like button because it does help to support this channel, and also in light of this positive approval that has recently just happened, and consider subscribing and hitting the bell notification for any future updates about really anything at all. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Stay safe, stay well, stay tuned for hopefully another update coming very soon with more details, and happy start to the week of Christmas. Thank you guys so much again for watching. Stay safe, stay well, and hope to see you guys next time.